I'm an epileptic patient. I suffer from grand mal seizures. 2006 is when I had my first seizure. And then 2011 is when I found the cannabis stopped my seizures. And I went an extensive period of time, over a year and a half, with having absolutely zero seizures. During that time, working with my doctor, I was able to reduce all of my other prescriptions to eliminate them all. And kind of a theory me and my doctor discussed a lot of times when we're talking about medical marijuana was how it differs from conventional drugs. How there's not ever going to be the desired result with one particular strain for the entire mass of population. When a doctor prescribes a Xanax, they know 98% of the population is going to react this way. That's not the way it works with a natural medicine. That's not the way it works with cannabis. So each person's biology is a little bit different. Each person's going to tolerate those cannabinoids a different way. So he kind of looks at it a little bit more like fish oil, or like another alternative that your doctor would recommend you take. He wouldn't prescribe you marijuana because that's illegal, but he would recommend, maybe in my case, after trying every other option, being through over a dozen anti-epileptic medications, having over 300 grand mal seizures, having stitches, 36 stitches in a leg, 7 in the head, waking up in a hospital bed, all those different things that I lived through were all traumatic. And they were all preventable in my case. Where it gets a little bit more interesting, and you heard it mentioned, was that I was arrested. I did nothing wrong, nothing outside of the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act at all. I spent 10 months going through a justice system that just didn't want to hear it. And oftentimes I would hear, go tell your legislature. We don't make the laws, we just enforce them. And I think that's where I find the biggest disconnect, is between you folks that do part of the process and the judiciary that does part of the process don't seem to work hand in hand. That's where I see a lot of the problems. But back to the specific thing. Marijuana is a medicine, many people will tell you that, and in many forms. But it's not the same type of medicine as a Vicodin or a Xanax or Marinol, which is THC. And there's companies, GW Pharmaceuticals with, Ethan Russo, he did extensive research that's written about the entourage effect and other things. When you look at all of those, you can see that cannabis is different than the other medications, and it needs to be treated differently. It's recommended, it's not prescribed. And if another company wants to get into being a pharmaceutical company, I encourage them to follow GW Pharmaceuticals. They seem to be doing really well. But if they want to be a caregiver and they want to participate in the program that we voted for, I think it needs to be done as it's written now. I don't think that they should deserve any other protections that patients don't get. If they can grow 1,000 plants, I think every one of my neighbors should be allowed that same exemption. So that's where I really find, my ultimate concern with this is that someone other than the citizens that you're supposed to look out for are going to get more protections and more liberties than us, and that's just what bothers me a little bit more about it. Thank you.
Thank you. I would disagree with that last assertion.
Well, thank you for your time.